From the KMNN studios, this is the Kids Morning News Network.
Good morning. It's February 26th, 2024, the 57th day of the year. I'm Alex in the KMNN studio in New York. Happy Monday. Many of you in the U.S. were on break last week. Welcome back. I hope you had a great week off. We're starting this week at full speed because it's International Tongue Twister Day. Say that 10 times fast. Actually, that one's not so tough. But many tongue twisters are hard. They're supposed to be. They were made up in the 1800s to help people perfect their diction. Diction is the way you say your words. Like this. My diction isn't always that good. One famous tongue twister is Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Not so bad. How about a harder one? This should be entertaining. The Guinness Book of World Records called this the hardest tongue twister in English. See if I can do it. The sixth, sick, sheik's, sixth, sheep's, sick. Okay, but that's about as fast as I can say it. It's pretty tough. But maybe not as tough as this next one. Psychologists at MIT, yes, MIT, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, say this is the most frustrating one of all. Let's see if I can get through it. Had kid poured curd pulled cold. Had kid poured curd pulled cold. Okay, but I'm not going any faster. Can you do it? Give it a try. And let me know your favorite tongue twister. Maybe I'll try to read it here on the podcast. Get your grown-up to help and email me at kidsmorningnews@gmail.com. Odie, the little moon lander that could, made history last Thursday as the first American spacecraft to touch down on the moon since 1972. But it seems to have tripped. Mission controllers say it seems as though Odie is lying on its side. Not entirely surprising since it's only a few feet wide and pretty tall, about 14 feet tall. Like two very tall people standing on each other's shoulders wearing big cowboy hats. So being so tall may have made it a bit tippy, and it seems like Odie was still moving sideways when it landed instead of coming straight down like it should have. So Odie toppled over. The good news is it's still working. We've also learned a little bit more about the landing itself. A very important sensor was off because someone forgot to flip a safety switch before blastoff. Hey, even on space missions, these things happen. The good news was one of the experiments on board could do a lot of the same things. So they turned on that experiment remotely and told Odie to pay attention to it, and it worked. As the saying goes, adventure is what happens when things don't go the way you planned. It's a big day for the national parks. This is the day that Grand Canyon National Park was established in 1919 and Grand Teton National Park in 1929. Do you know about these parks? They're both amazing, kind of for opposite reasons. The Grand Canyon in Arizona is a deep gash in the ground. It's 277 miles long, 18 miles wide at its widest point, and up to a mile deep. It was carved by the Colorado River over millions of years. Grand Teton National Park, on the other hand, is in the Teton Mountain Range, which is in Wyoming. The Tetons are young mountains, less than 10 million years old anyway, so they're very sharp and pointy. Older mountains tend to get worn down and more rounded. Grand Teton National Park also has lakes and some glaciers. They're both two of the most visited national parks in the country, and for good reason. They're both incredible. If you can't get to either the Grand Canyon or Grand Teton, well, there are 61 other national parks to visit. Which one is closest to you? Time for the Daily Riddle. On Friday, the riddle was, keys but no doors, space but no rooms. You can enter, but there's no way to leave. What am I? Answer, a keyboard. Today's riddle, I run around the whole yard, yet I never move. What am I? I run around the whole yard, yet I never move. Give the answer on Wednesday. Do you like beef? Do you like rice? If you answered yes to both of those, I have the perfect dish for you. Beef rice. Not beef with rice, no, beef rice. Rice with beef grown in the middle of it. Researchers in South Korea created this frankenfood in a search for something sustainable. With beef rice, no cattle are needed. The researchers coated rice in beef cells. Rice is porous, meaning it has lots of teeny tiny holes in it, and it made for a good place for the beef cells to latch into and grow. After a few weeks, the rice, which by then was colored pink, was full of beef and fat cells, so it became kind of supercharged rice with extra protein and nutrients. Apparently it tastes more nutty than beefy right now, but scientists are still working on it. It'll be a while before you see a bowl of it on your lunch tray. And next, maybe they can make endless ice cream that grows in your freezer. In the weather today, it looks like it's going to be pretty wintry in the Pacific Northwest and the Rocky Mountains with some snow, wind, rain in the lower elevations. Windy also around Colorado and New Mexico and northern Texas, and some snow up in northern Maine. But for a lot of the country, a strangely warm day for the end of February. And if you don't actually have rain or snow falling on you, the sky should be clear, so enjoy it. Even though it's winter time, things are really hot in parts of Iceland right now. That's because there is lava bursting out of the ground in Iceland's Reykjanes Peninsula. Iceland is a place with a lot of volcanoes, but in this case, the lava isn't really coming from what you'd imagine a volcano to be, a big mountain with lava pouring out of the top. Instead, the earth is cracking open, cracks called fissures, and lava is coming out of them. This has been going on for a few years. There was an eruption earlier this month from a fissure nearly 2 miles long. Scientists say it looks like there might be another eruption coming in March. This is all because the outside of the Earth is made up of what are called plates. All of the land and oceans are on the plates, but they're pretty thin if you think about how thick the whole Earth is. So these plates kind of float on the softer part of the Earth that's under them. When plates push together, they make mountains. When they pull apart, fissures, like we're seeing in Iceland. Lava comes out, fills the gap from the fissure, and bingo, you have new land. So the Earth, even though it seems solid, is always changing, just like the weather changes or the seasons change. This is just one of those times where we're lucky enough to see the whole Earth changing. All right, that's this Monday episode of Kids Morning News Network. Thank you very much for listening. If you liked this episode, please leave a review on your podcast app. That helps so much, even just clicking the stars. Subscribe, share, and spread the word about the Kids Morning News Network. And hey, this morning, a big shout out and a thank you to our new sponsors, Ileana and Ruth. Grown-ups, if you want to support this podcast, there's a link in the episode description. I'll be back Wednesday. I hope you are too. From the KMNN newsroom, this is Alex signing. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hang on. Let me try this one. This is Alex, and this is the end of the news. Thanks, Ileana. That does work.